everyone. We're in stereotypical Canadian mode right now, so we're going to full Canuck on these introductions. All right, welcome to my stream. This is the silliest we do. Okay, Team 1, we got representing the ANS and the Blue Trunks. We got Small Goodman, Maddie Benui, we got Tasty Cookie, we got Pyrekin, and we got Heimars over here. Squaring off against them on Team 2, we got Nokek, Supreme Overlord, Jordan, and then we got Firebird over here, and Sammy Classic Star Fox. They're the orange team here with the OSP. This is to 1,250 points here on Nix's Eye, 3,000 points per player, so that's 15k per team. Gonna be seeing some lovely fist fights commencing here before too long, as they're just deciding to deploy where they want to. Ooh, Pi got some interesting tech going under the map there. That's gonna be fun to see pay off. Oh, it looks like we might see, what is this, the Nokek fleet might be answering them as well. All right, might see some Safari action. Gonna be fun for this one. We got a couple more minutes of Canuck mode before we go back to regular levels of stereotypical Canadians. Okay, both teams kind of locking in, readying up and planning how to dismantle each other here. So again, these games are on the public test branch, so we're testing out some of the fighter craft performance things. I should have asked to make sure that both teams are bringing a carrier. That's what we've been trying to test out performance of, both server stability wise and also seeing how the fighter craft stack up against each other, getting some good games in there for that. But overall, we're just here having a good time. Teams are on comms, get some things going for it, and yeah, just waiting for everyone to lock in and ready up. All right, let me just take a quick little check, make sure that the public test side of stuff is behaving correctly. Yep, everything looks like it's good. All right. Coolio, let's run some games then, shall we? Just waiting on Heimars to hit that button. I'll go through these fleets. I'm not the fastest at that, but I'll try and be, as usually action kicks off pretty fast. I just get distracted by all the cool little toys they bring in. All right, I think this might be a starter fleet. Seeing the Tungsten Crescendo, that's going to be one of the starter Zelos. All right, what do you got for me? Let's find out for these OSPs at this megalithic asteroid in the Solomon system. All right, Firebird coming in here with good old, what's this? I believe Cobalt Squadron? Yeah, Cobalt Squadron in that. All right, so we got 4 fitties on these things. Auroras on the side, Illuminator, and a golf ball jammer on the back there. Pretty standard affair, bullseye on the chin. Not really much to write home about. Titanium Overture is going to be its partner, similar loadout. No golf ball jammer, got a chaff box instead there, and a bullseye. So radar drives on these, keeps them evasive, reinforced snoot, pretty good stuff overall. Where are we on the board right now? All right, Jordan going to be coming in with a light carrier. Got that early warning radar on the bottom there, be able to do some scouting and stuff. Got flight decks and adaptive radar receiver to support that. All right, a couple of these going to be just a whole bunch of Barracudas, 2 pikes, and then a trio of skiffs for some scouting. Very nice stuff. Jordan running a bit of a cap fleet. Got a, looks like a multi-mission, maybe not a multi-mission tug. No jammer on this thing. Instead electing for double MLS2 and 2 bulk mags. All right, that's a lot of missiles in this sucker. That's going to be a nice little arsenal asset. They got themselves T-20 Capper towards bottom side of the map there onto the D point. They got themselves a rocket shuttle going over here towards east side. As well as another rocket shuttle accompanying it. This one has got shaft box. This one has pinpoint. And this third one down here is going to be a EWAR device. Got itself, hang on a second, where was that? I heard something go staticky there, but anyways. You're gonna see that we've got a Bellbird jammer on this thing, got a EO Dazzler, and then the Warbler for command jamming. Lastly, there's gonna be another one of those EO devices attached onto the Bluff Baron tug up top here, and then I think that's it. Yep, just a couple of craft coming off the deck there. All right, Nokek, down below on the map, we're gonna see 450 broadside bulkers here, flipped upside down, so they get on target very quickly. I think these got some secondaries. Let's find out. No secondary T-20s. Just a whole lot of point defense on these things. Very worried about missiles, apparently. Nokek also running along with a Bloodhound tug to provide spotting onto this thing. And then they've got a little cheapo T-20 piece pinpoint shuttle heading towards D point. And then they got another one kind of lurking underside E. Sammy Classic Star Fox. Oh, that's Canuck mode worn off there. Back to regular Canadians. Anyways, Sammy coming in with a rail cello on Safari top of the map here. Has some Auroras for point defense and a comms jammer as well. Good stuff there. Going to see the creature accompanying it. Mass Driver liner here. Okay, got a little point defense on this. And looks like some launch pads on the back. That's nice to see. 2 small hangars here with a couple of craft. Able to get some strike fighters up as defense. Heimars yelling Cap War 1 as they step onto the point for the first time. Bloodhound radar kind of deployed and forgotten about in the back, trying to do some offset shenanigans, I can tell. And they've got, let's see, cheapo, T-20, Pavis, pinpoint, capper over here. And then they had, where was it? Another one of those just lurking under the E point. Didn't we already cover that? Or we already covered that. Anyways, maybe they moved their assets, whatever. Right. No, we already covered Nokek. It was Sammy I was looking at. I am a fool. I've completely misread which fleet I was looking at. So yeah, Sammy got the Rail Cello, they got the Mass Driver Liner, and then they've got the Early Warning Bloodhound. That's what I meant to click on. That's why that seemed odd. All right, anyways. Yeah, Bloodhound, Early Warning. Does this thing have... Nope, does not have an Intel Center. So good little CIA asset there, providing some Intel Overwatch. Supreme Overlord coming in with the carrier here. Good old 3K Moreline. Got some bombers up right now with 100 mil gun pods. Probably going towards mid if I had to guess. Trying to overwatch that neutral. We got a flight of 10 fighters to accompany them. Whole bunch of SGMs. Got some GM pods. Got some 20 mil guns here. Just going for the size 1 maxing playstyle. Does not have the 35 mil gun pods that it would on the live servers. Instead, those take up both wing underside slots, so can't get jamming with them. All right, let's see. What are they squaring off against as we look over here at HIMARS on this team? They're going to see a torpedo corvette going towards D point, going to be stepping off the cap here as it's engaged by a couple of other assets there. One torpedo corvette there, second one on the C point. Seeing a third torpedo corvette down here, overwatching these carriers by the looks of it, providing a little bit of emotional support. And then finally one moving towards A point, probably on denial duty. They've got a destroyer lurking back here, guarding the C point here. This is going to be pretty standard affairs. Beams, got a stone wall there to see off some size 2s. Got some jammers on it. Got a bullseye and a chaff box. Size 2 launcher here. Got some of those breadsticks for anti-bombers. Got some capper slappers, size 2 conventionals, and just some anti-craft missiles. Probably going to be a second one over here. Yep, watching the D side. Shuttle's going to walk on here from Jordan, and this thing is going to promptly get unpersoned as the beam is going to lock here in a second, and then fire. Come on, buddy, show me your money. Locking on target, and fire. And fire. And fire. Come on, don't do me like this, please. There's a way to go first person. I forget how to do that. There's some hotkeys, like this button or Control P. It's one of these keys that makes you go first person. Can't remember which one it is. Anyways, beam should get that in a second, assuming it holds the lock. Looks like it maybe not. Anyways, Jordan got to think twice about that one. All right, back to the fleets here before we get too far. Maddie Benui over here, going to be at 450 on the front there, golf ball jammer, and it's going to be, looks like a Sarissa. Okay, interesting tech. Defenders all around this thing. Size 2 backpack on this. Got some active decoys and a couple of anti-craft munitions. All right. Has Intel Center. There you go. That's a nice little thing to bring along for your team. Other one over here, going to be 450s in there, gun plotting in that slot instead. Just big whiplash on these. Has some strike craft, brought along some skiffs here. Not sure if these are Elint or just regular. I think that's the Elint. I can't actually tell. It's very bright. Wow. Elin Skiff would be a nice little tech choice there. Anyways, Manny Benui, just 450 frontsiders. Pretty standard affair for the ANS kind of like role. Pie of Reckoning bringing out the double levy build, coming in with some investments here. Seeing the internals has a whole bunch of... Are these named ceremonial arming missiles? Oh, you goobers. Where are these? No, some of these are not. Okay, these are Tanto Overkill. These have got a bunch of AXE-CMD direct fire size 2s, 20 mil nose guns, and some bombs going for that big strike potential. We've got some sundials staggered around the map. Jackal Flight here got a bunch of these size 1 HE frags going for that air superiority. Just 2 coil guns into a mix of 20 mil, so that's a lot there. All right. Most of these got jamming pods as well, so that's going to be air superiority. Bombard Flight looks like they went for the ACAP denial, went and sent off some missiles there. That's a size 2 launcher. That's not something you see very often. All right, dogfight commences as Jackal is going to engage against Panther over here. Looks like Jackal taking briefly... okay, that verbal indicator is bugged. Should see the OSP over here somewhat. Okay, Jackal Flight is getting a little bit dusted. Panther Flight, in turn, is in the fray, kind of doing some stuff here. Talon and Ruby joining as well. Okay, that is a... Oh, shit, there's 4 levies on this team. Okay, that's something I did not realize. All right, so this is going to be air control hell. All right, Jackal Flight going to get cleaned up here pretty fast, as there's just a lot of fighter craft. I was wondering about that. Looks like some of these size 2 bombers going around. Not something you see super often, but kind of cool. Size 2 ACT-CMD, very similar to how you would see from a multi-mission tug, able to get bomb payload and then an actual bomb into the ship afterwards to put the nail in the coffin. A bunch of these fighters just kind of going around here. Large air control presence projected onto the map. Small Goodman has got a pair of these 250 voxels trying to tax out anything they can in the backfield here. Has size 3 backpack here. Got some of those 2 types of missiles. Looks like, yeah, pair of these things. And then lastly got a EWAR Corvette here. Or EWAR, what do you call it? Frigate. I'm getting massively overstimulated just by the sheer number of craft and the flashbang that was, oh fuck, that's 4 levies. Tasty Cookie, lastly, is going to be coming in with their own levies here, deployed in the lovely red and white. Go Canada. Going to see these things. Pretty standard internal affairs here. Just a bunch of bombers left here and a whole bunch of coil tows. So that's going to be a massive number of these Tantos kind of going around. Holy air control battle. Okay, this is going to start off as a bloodbath. Combination of Jordan plus Supreme Overlord going to be a lot of fighter craft, but still, that's like 6,000 points. That's 6,000 points of ANS sky power. I have no idea how this is going to go. You take a look at the furball indicator. Looks like OSP has lost quite a few of their craft as a lot of these SDMs are getting into the enemy. Yeah, that's a lot of Barracudas getting splashed down there. Damn. These Tantos, when they can engage like that, are brutally effective, as we just saw a massive number of OSP craft go down, so that's not looking too good for them. Take a look at the magazine depth, so to speak. So Jordan still has a couple of fighter craft here. I believe that's maybe 10 in total still left to get off the deck. They have 2 other flights airborne right now. In turn, where is it? Supreme Overlord is completely out of craft there in the immediate skies. Needs to launch more of these things. So ANS, for the 6,000 point investment, rapidly trying to establish air control. I am not surprised. Dozer flight now coming in here. A whole bunch of these cluster bombs looking for something. Looks like they are locked onto the assets up here. Yeah, I don't think that anything is going to stop them going for a cluster bomb run here. Still, it might be overkill just going onto a tug like that. We'll see. This thing looks like it ate a nasty explosion into the bulk mags there, completely depriving it of firepower. Might see Dozer flight instead going after Titanium Overture. Okay, Ruby flight here. Yeah, just ANS playing the skies right now. Not something you typically see. Usually ANS electing to go for more of that capital play, but I mean, if you can bring along 4 levies like this and absolutely fucking send it, if you get punished for it, then, well, I guess that's on you. Coil guns and a bunch of these size ones, just, yeah, OSP totally outnumbered in the skies. 20 versus 5. That is not a fight you're going to win in, like, any engagement ever. Griffin flight pretty much completely bled out there as OSP fell behind and just is falling further behind as all of the ANS sky power is being leveraged now to their advantage. OSP trying to hold on with what they can. We're seeing some of these are going to be found out here. Okay, so Small Goodman coming around the corner, not fearing anything, going to start engaging RPF rounds here. Damn, Tantos are doing a lot of work here. I don't know if it's Tanto performance being improved on the test server or if it's just the fact that, you know, there's 6,000 points of ANS sky power that took a really good engage there to start off with, but OSP definitely going to fall behind in that department. That said, they have the capitals. We see that there is 1, 2, 3 Acellos on the board and 1, 2, 3 liners here, so they can definitely do something with that. Swearing off against a pair of Acellos and a pair of Voxels. OSP does have that frontline advantage just in terms of the weight they can throw around. Granted, Sammy up here is going to be mainly a support fleet, so they're not exactly a frontline asset. Still, though, taking a look down here, Nokek with those 450s can do a lot of work against capitals, already developing this side of the map. D point is going to be capped here by HIMARS, so they will be able to... Well, I think that, yeah, actually, Nokek can just kind of move up here. There's nothing stopping them just killing off HIMARS' defensive assets with that kind of frontline power. Buckshot flight is airborne as well, Spearfish. They know about this destroyer over here somewhere. They're looking for it, so... ANS air control established over top of the midfield here. They need to do something with it. Dozer flight is kind of posturing around. They have not been authorized their bombs yet. Don't want to have them spike her early. Firebird wisely giving ground here, deciding, okay, I don't want to be anywhere near this air ball. Trying to find themselves a little bit of comfortable position. Actually, kind of a risk here in an interesting way, because these bombers, if they are positioned correctly, they can come over the lip of a rock like this, get a very good strike off. At the same time, though, we're seeing these Acellos starting to bark out their guns here. Mandy Benui having a bad time here. It looks like they got the top taken off by a bunch of Mass Driver and Rail, and now the 450 starting to fly as well. Not the engagement you want to be finding yourself in as Axfords, as that is a lot of firepower getting levered your way. Not sure if there's any spotting being provided by this. Looks like it's just going to be Sammy up here with triple track correlators on that Bloodhound. Okay, that's pretty accurate after all, so yeah. Good fire support coming in here, as again, the front lines are engaging themselves somewhat with supportive plays. We saw air support from the ANS side and direct fire support from the OSP. Mass drivers and rails in tandem working together can be quite dangerous, especially if they are allowed to shoot targets like this in the open that cannot really get bow on without suffering heavy rail damage. Plus the 450 following up on this is going to be knocking these components out pretty fast. Looking at all this fire count and these criticals and destructions, that is not where you want to find yourself. Unfortunately, just in Whiplash drives to go fast means that these things are going to be lethargic getting anywhere. So ANS needs to find a way to relieve their front line somehow. Needs to be doing a strike against these support assets. Same time, though, we're seeing a bit of a furball apparently starting up. That's a bit of a generous indicator there. Those flights were fairly distant from each other. All right, looks like Buckshot flight over here going to be trying to get something done. Was that a beam? HIMARS, you mad lad, did you just beam bombers? Buckshot flight does actually bleed one, is gonna maybe bleed another one as the beam gonna find its way. Tickles another one. You mad lad, you setting battle short. Oh my god, I've seen this done with I've seen this done with Battleship. I've never seen this done with a destroyer. You can't do this. This is illegal. Buckshot flight is not flying fast enough or evasively enough. They are on cruise, not hardbird. Gonna get STM'd as well. Where do you see this kind of gameplay anywhere but test server? This is awesome. Buckshot flight loses half of their bombers for no effect on target in exchange for getting beamed and STM'd. One may live to tell the tale, quickly turning around, realizing, oh shit, I'm out of here, hitting those thrusters. Tornado missile looking after it as well. Might get a splash on target as we get some sim speed slowdown. Ooh, chugga, 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 splat. Buckshot flight fully deflected by a beam destroyer shooting them down. Oh man, that is something right there. All right, let's take a look at the center of the map right now. Yeah, no survivors. Oh, that is a lot of firepower gone down there. You know that the air controller has got to be kicking themselves saying, damn, I should have said evasive and hard burn. Oopsies. All right, bombers attempted a run here. Looks like they got taxed pretty badly. A bunch of those boosted bombs do go off. In turn, though, Titanium Overture does lose the front half of it. Is non-essentials, it's worth noting out. Like, you can survive without all of this. Yes, it would be nice to have that, like, a blade of brick here in the front, but for the amount of cluster bomb, like, that was 8 bombers that went forwards here. I didn't think there was any significant damage. And maybe like a little bit here, radar panels, thrusters, and drives and reactors gets a little bit taxed, but still not the worst. Goblin Flight now deciding to get a piece of the action, committing after these fighters and bombers went in here, trying to see what they can do. STMs and S1s on both sides kind of going off, exchanging handshakes here. Meteor Flight down here looking a little bit staggered, trying to keep themselves alive here as they do some evasion. Goblin Flight decides to pull back here, electing not to get too close to these various assets, trying to outrun some of these size ones. Might be able to. Gonna maybe take a splash or two here. Countermeasure's pretty good. Act size one's good at forcing evades, not so much good at getting those hits. There we go. No effect on target. Good stuff there, just pulling back, seducing the enemy, pulling them forwards. There we go. Now they go for the immediate turnaround. SDMs from nearly point blank gonna go right down the throat of those Tantos, only able to get 1 or 2 shots up before they're immediately gonna get intercepted and forced into evade. Now the dogfight commences, both sides squaring off against each other with 20 mil logic. Does the orc logic of it, don't get hit, it didn't work? Huh, I don't know about that. I mean, it's just, if you pretend it didn't hit you, maybe. Fighter craft galore as both sides tearing into each other. I knew this was gonna be a bloodbath since we got some more experienced players coming out here, but damn. Size ones from both sides. Furball, kind of neutral trading right now. 2 OSP craft have gone down for 5 ANS ones. Goblin and Meteor, where is it? Cyclone and Meteor squaring off now against Goblin. That's what we're trying to say. Try to get a proper count here. Both sides kind of towing the line against each other. Looks like the Barracuda's having a bit of a rough go. Looks like they're forced into evade. ANS quickly going in for that jump play. There we go. All right. ANS with a secondary flight coming in. A lot of coil gun there lining up their shots. That gets you like a 1,500 meter kill range. So they're able to pick off a bunch of Goblin flight there that are forced to evade and dodge stance. Still baiting the ANS flight now correctly into Firebird's range, able to pick off 1 or 2 of those expensive coil gun Tantos. So trying to get a little bit back there. Barracudas, again, are not exactly going to be a match for something that's as premium as a coil gun Tanto. Is quite an investment, especially since these are just 20 mil with some SDMs and some of those size ones. Don't quite have the dogfighting advantage of a whole bunch of the flechette rounds like you would see on live, at least not with this loadout. Bolt Flight also going to be eating a bunch of missiles here as those STMs coming off of, I believe, Small Goodman. Yeah, Small Goodman with the VLS-2 bank, they're just eating really well right now. The lack of the flechette pods is kind of noticeable, as normally if SDMs were fired like this on live, 20 mil in flechette would just immediately shoot those down. Maybe air control as well, but we'll see just how this ends up squaring up in the later part of the game. Oh no! Oh, Safari Adventure is going to pay off here as Hornets and Jackal Flight going to find themselves onto the carrier. Looks like Jordan has taken some crippling damage here. That's a lot of missiles going off. Hard to read exactly what is going on here. 5 of the Barracudas here trying to tango with, like, what's that, 24 fighters or so? Does get a couple of them purchasing. God damn, this is a lot of missile. Down to 50% sim speed, but all things considered, we're still surviving. We've got 1 spectator with me here, and I'm running streamer software on this, so this could have been worse. Here comes some more of those size 1 bombs out of the Tanto base. Going to look to see if they can get some hits on Jordan's carrier. God damn, that is some serious damage getting done. See more of them hitting now into the guts. There you go. That's the attack you're looking for. Knocking out those hangars and the launch pads and stuff. Only 1 restore on this thing that is going to be crippling damage dealt either way. Daggerflight is getting some attacks in here. They are picking off a Tanto or 2 where they can. A couple of 20 mil rounds going to be just exchanged on both sides. That big Safari Adventure sent under the map to go for that attack run. Damn. Supreme Overlord a little danger close here, unfortunately, as Overlord is currently looking to get jumped on with their carrier here. Shaman Flight is airborne, trying to do something with flechette rounds. Actually, maybe getting a craft kill or 2 here, because flechette turrets do be kind of cool. Jordan's saying they have 0 control over their craft. Yeah, this is the problem when you get kind of like soft block for that, where you just like get your, like, basically your craft go evasive and they're like, ah, shit, they're not gonna listen to orders. Yeah. But anyway, saying staying in spacebar view so it lags less on their end. Yeah, so spacebar view does cut down a little bit on the lag here as it just pulls some of the rendering. So some of these size ones going to go off here as 2 heroic Barracudas square off against Jackal Flight. Jackal Flight did lose some fighter craft for this, but still they got their attack off and we're doing pretty damn well, all things considered. Rest of the battle space continues to develop. We see there's more fighters over here. Looks like, Okay, maybe a little too late as Clawflight shows up over here and is like, hey, yeah, we can intercept those bombers. HIMARS is just like, what bombers? I don't see any bombers. All I see is 8 beam targets. Anyways, Furball Central continues here. Butcherflight got its strike off and is now trying to get back to the barn for relative safety. Still running into a whole bunch of defending fighters here. There is Pavise on this carrier, so they are able to shoot down some of these fighters that are now lurking around here. So, see just how exactly that ends up going. A lot of fighters just kind of trying to square off against each other. ANS is going to lose quite a few of their fighter craft here, although they did get some very good strikes off. We see Hot Rod now deciding to break, head back to the barn, realizing that maybe they've already done their work and they don't need to do any more. So Pi deciding discretion, better part of Valor as well, with Hornet Flight retreating. Looks like they still are committed with Jackal here, trying to do some stuff, picking up Butcher Flight before they go home. 20 mil is pretty cheap here, so they should be able to get these bombers. Getting these bombers also very valuable because these have torpedoes on them. If you splash these bombers, that is a lot of points down the drain. 15 points a pop for each of the bombers, and then it's like, for each of these torps, call it 12 to 15 points. So that's, I don't know, call it like 40 points per ship, give or take. That sounds about right. They're able to get somewhat on target, but still they're running low on ammo. They are running out of health bar and general presence. The Pavises are doing pretty well. The fighters are finally breaking away there. So yeah, ANS realizing they can counter 50 Barracudas with 60 Tantos. Yeah, ANS electing to go for this double backline build. OSP not really correctly punishing it. ANS moving themselves forwards now onto the HEKP here. At the same time, though, we are seeing ANS has taken some hits during this. Benui is just trying to ignore some of the damage taken, and unfortunately not going to be the case. There we go. Some more bombs being fired off. Cluster bombs going towards the, what do you call this thing? The little CIA monitor. Those are going to hit. Yeah, okay. Boosted bomb. That thing did no damage. What? Excuse me? Where damage? I see damage. Do they not have the armor pen? Wait, hang on. Okay, somebody real quick, go to the fleet editor. Tell me how much armor pen RU-15 bombs have. Because I think that the 48 centimeters... Sammy even asking, like, were those size 1s? No, those were bombs. I don't think they have the armor pen. 40 centimeters armor pen versus 48 centimeters monitor. Monitors stay fucking winning. Armor is back, baby. Yeah, all the armor plating probably destroyed, but still no damage dealt for that. Oh, that's a weird moment to see, but hey, welcome to test. Firsts in this game. Boosted bombs do absolutely nothing even when they impact. HIMARS beams 8 torpedo bombers. ANS goes for the 4 cap because they've kind of bled the OSP out and forced them back off the map. Jordan basically out of the game right now. Nokek trying to do some work over here. Needs to get onto a cap point. Sammy, top of the map. Very Safari like this. Again, this is another support fleet, so keep in mind what the OSP has brought. They brought direct fire support. They brought a carrier here. They brought Jordan, who's doing like carrier capper duty. Firebird trying to get work done with the 450s up top here. Unfortunately, was a little bit suppressed earlier on. Got some of those bomber strikes going towards them. Eating some shots here in the flank now as Small Goodman smells blood in the water. Commits the CLs from an awkward angle, getting into the broadside of this Alcello. Not where you want to get shot, especially since this thing lost a lot of its damage control. God, I'm stumbling my words. I'm so excited about this game. Yeah, nose of the Alcello got taken off earlier on. Now is getting broadside shot. Not what you want to see. ANS on that 5 cap. We barely started this game points-wise, and this is now 5 cap. Holy shit, this was a fast game. So yeah, it turns out fighter play is actually kind of good. I'm not sure if this is an accurate read of Tantos or not, because, like, again, this was a carrier and, like, a, I'm going to call it, like, a 1K carrier. So that's, like, 4K worth of carrier versus 6K worth of carrier. Now, I'm no points expert, but I think that just, 6K is a little bit bigger than 4K, so they kind of win the skies with that one. I'm not sure if we can judge Tanto balance off that. Tantos did perform incredibly well here. At the same time, we did not see the 35mm Flechette really being brought out. We saw some SDMs get good effect on target, and a couple of them were shot down by coil guns, but still, ANS just with the pure plane maxing double backline build like that, managing to get some pretty good work done. They've got some torpedo bombers kicking around as well, so even though I'm not the biggest fan of this playstyle, I think that this is a lot to micro, and I personally don't think that the Levy is the best at this 1.5K mark. We are seeing these players definitely making it work just with the sheer number of planes they can get airborne and then try and leverage this against other players. So this is important test data for us to accumulate. Again, we are trying to do this as a test game to try and figure out, hey, is this a little too much? Are Tantos overperforming? Is the Levy a little too good for what it's got right now? Do we need to have some like balancing factors? Can you go double like backline levies like this and get away with it? What's the upsides? What's the downsides? What's your loadout looking like? So you're seeing they've still got some payload left here with some of the bombs. So kind of interesting to see double escort carrier going through there. All right. CLs continue on their frontline adventures here. Titanium Overture is biting the dust. Not structure broken yet, but still alive with only a CIC and the Raider drive there. So not going to have a good time. Firebird trying to find a frontline fight this entire game and just having to play the kind of go-to-ground game as all of the various air control assets do their thing. Squared off against some Acellos here. The Acellos squared off against some experts here. Had good fire support from Sammy up top here and was doing a pretty good job. Hi, Catboy said from 222222. Hey, hello, meowdy to you too. 22222222. Paramore now eating some of these. All right, Firebird is getting relieved now as the fire support has rotated over. Going to see some good mass driver impact on target here. Can't dodge those. You can see the kitty over here is going to be trying to find itself up top here. See the Tungsten Overture actually going in for the flank on the flankers now. Going to be pointing his nose on target, looking to get some 450 on there. Hot Rod Flight back here. They've got a bit of coil gun left over. They got some gem pods. Got a bunch of these ARADs and some... Actually, just a couple of these ARADs and some SDM-1s. SDM... Act lunges. That's a gamble I would not take, but I suppose that can work. All right, over here, going to see gun pods and jammers. These were trying to go for a ground strike, but looks like they did nothing. Just absolutely swarming around the carrier right now, soft locking it, preventing it doing any launches. I don't think it even has the ability to launch right now. Yeah, air control totally won as expected. ANS brought along a whole bunch of these air control assets. And in terms of Sky Contesters, we did not see some of the tools on the OSP side. Didn't really see much 100 mil flak. Saw a couple Barracudas, but still 6K carrier versus like 4K, maybe 4.5K of carrier. Not sure exactly Jordan's budget for this journeyman, but still, that is a lot to contest against. OSP does have various tools. Bombshell was nerfed on test server, but that was not brought at all in this game. 100 mil flak is a very useful tool. If you get massive furballs like this, you just get a 100 mil bulker, cast a bunch of those flak rounds into it, see off a bunch of those enemy fighters, because if you get a group of like, 12 fighters, they're going to get blasted by a flak round. Like, even with reduced flak, you're going to see a lot of damage. I think that Moorland has all its fighters shut down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that ANS is just owning the skies right now, as OSP has either been like totally knocked out hangar-wise, or is just fully depleted on craft. Singular craft left here, but that's an offline hangar knocked out here. Trying to restore the drive to maybe push this thing onto a point. I don't want to call it a completely decided game, because again, we could still see a case of these bombers getting shut down. OSP has technically got like an Acello and what? Actually, has NoKek even been scratched this game? No, not really. So OSP, again, we're like not even halfway through this game. OSP got hit really hard in the skies. What does ANS do now that they've got air control? They have a bunch of these bombers. What do they have for actual anti-capital strike? They've got some cluster bombs left in here. I don't know why bombs show up in the ammunition slot instead of the missile slot. I guess it's just because it only appears in magazines, but anyways. They've got some bombs, so they can do some ground pound duty if they get their planes back. So they need to go back, rearm, reload, do a lot of that stuff. That will take them some time. We see only one of these things has the bomber ability. Take a look at Tasty. What's Tasty got? Couple of cluster bombs in these things, couple of cluster bombs as well. Can cluster bombs be shut down? Yes, they can. Are they the most reliable against intact targets? Not really. Tungsten Crescendo is actually still pretty healthy here. Can't say the same about Mandy Binui over here. The heavy assets on the ANS frontline are not doing the greatest. Reactor crit going off here as these things have just been constantly blasted as Sammy's been largely uncontested up top here. Like, they took a little bit of a attack one time with cluster bombs trying to take out their Bloodhound, but apparently CIA monitors are actually kind of really fucking good because they don't take any damage from bombshells. Not bombshells, bomblets, that's what we're trying to say. I think the KB-22s can punch through that armor, but anyways, Tungsten Crescendo is firing off its little laser dazzle light show there, trying to tax anything that comes by. Good to see the 450 now. Again, 450 is still effective against the ANS frontline. So for all the purchase they've made and all the air control they've won, ANS is actually kind of falling behind in the frontline fight. The only healthy asset they have is Small Goodman over here with a, I believe, a HEKP strike attempting here. If these can get through against the Tungsten Crescendo, that'll be big. Does this thing have the correct counters? It does have that golf ball jammer. Is it active, though? No, it is not currently firing. Needs to fire that thing off. Unfortunately, going to get smacked here by the CMD HEKP. Oh, that's bad damage. Firebird just a little short there on the soft kill side. Needs to click that thing just a little bit quicker. That's going to be a big evening. Like I've said before, HEKP shots, like 9 out of 10 times, they'll probably be deflected. But that one time you get it through, that is going to be a complete gutting of a bow on target ship like this. So that'll even the frontline odds pretty well here. Tungsten Crescendo trying to restore some of its stuff, get the CIC and the large locker back up, and then try and restore the drives, maybe a gun or a reactor or something. Meanwhile, we're going to see over here the Meowny is going to be taking some beam. Unfortunately, a bit of a aim issue there. Heimar's his best girl, unfortunately, having a little bit too much to drink before laying on that trigger. Couple of size 2s trying to do something about it. HIMARS yelling, beam, aim points. A little bit quirky about the bulkers. 3 size 2s surprisingly finding their way through flak guns there. These things are covered in point defense. I'm not sure how they managed to get through there. C65 is knocked out. Shaftbox as well is only size 1 defensives. That's interesting. Yeah, HIMARS commenting about the beam aim points. You beamed 8 bombers. Are you not happy? Just comment about that one, because I mean, come on, that was a cool move and they know it. Yeah, Meowdy over here, not taking the full damage. 450 gonna slowly rotate on target, assuming this thing has its radar. Bridgemaster knockout. Oh, that's gonna be big. Not able to get a lock onto the attacker there. Maybe actually with the... is that quite in range? Bloodhound looking for that target, might be able to communicate it over here. Now they're starting to get the lock. There they go. Had to ask for a friend to provide it. A little bit of colon 3 action going on there from HIMARS and Tasty. Nice to see that. Anyways, Sammy up top here, continuing to hold down the trigger with the mass drivers into Benui over here. Benui refusing to give up the ghost, although is pretty much out of the game on this one. It's basically going to come down to, is Nokek and Sammy able to carry this for their team? We see over here now the Meowny, it does have its defenses back up, right? Almost 80% on that. There's another beam for their trouble. Best Girl is taking some hits here in the front, although not the crippling damage you would hope for to see off that threat. Okay, these flights here are going to be Dropkick and Ardent going for the cluster bombage. Flak is pretty good. Let's see just how good it is. Going to be cluster bomblets, ahoy. Okay, yeah, Flak's pretty good. Flak is pretty fucking good, as it turns out. Holy shit. Yeah, turns out having, like, this many bastions, now I know why you run this build. Nokek got bombed once and said never again. What is this? It's like, what's it, 2 Pavises and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bastions. Yep, just, hey, I noticed you had bomblets. No, you don't. Whoop. Okay, so, with that being said, like, how do you kill this thing, right? Like, you have to get that Beam Destroyer on target. Beam Destroyer redded itself out or got shot here by 450. Slasher Flight may be trying to go in for something. Just Jam Pods on that. ANS has complete sky control and they paid for it, but are they going to get other things done with it? Firebird maybe could be bombed on the point here. HEKP does go into the hands of the OSP. Still, a significant difference there is ANS sat on that 5 cap for a good long while. A couple of these jammer ones, I guess, just trying to ground pound on Jordan over here. Jordan does throw the towel and surrender, recognizing the states there. Sammy's over here. No, that's not Sammy. That's Nokek on the D point there. Sammy probably could move down off the map, like ceiling right now, and get onto some of these cap points. It's going to be a case of, is OSP able to just kind of deal with the front line? Small Goodman's still pretty healthy over here with one of their assets. The other one took a bit of a pounding. Paramore largely combat ineffective. 1 Restorer remaining on this, so could technically get its gun back up online. Has CIC, does not have magazine, so gun won't actually do anything. It has got some missiles, though, so it could still give a little bit of a hoorah. Should recognize the situation, hopefully go for a strike. Does it have its antenna? Yeah, it does. Okay, so it could go for command strike. So, Singular CL here is now going to get mass-driven. A couple of those look like they whiffed. Not sure exactly how they missed, but they did. Anyways, let's say the second one's fine purchase on target or not. Hi there. Rail is also, for good measure, going to start some crits up. Plop into the backside there. Going to be instantly redding out some of those thrusters. Very nice stuff. Let's see if the next ones are any more accurate. I don't know if Sammy has gun plotting in this. Let's find out. Yeah, it has a gun plotting I saw in there somewhere, so there we go. Now getting on target. That's the damage you want to see. Mark 64s and lockers getting smacked. So yeah, this is a very good fleet to try and punch out those evasive assets like that. I wanted to say, like, this was pretty decided when the air control was won, but, like, unless the OSP has a really good answer for Sammy and Nokek here, I'm not sure it's as decided as we think. Cluster bombs going out here. They are going to find Firebirds, Tungsten Crescendo, who is trying to hold out here. I think these will be enough to punch through. There we go. Cluster bomb was deployed. Let's check the damage. Woo, a little desync going off there. Okay, these things are going to stage on target. It's going to be a lot of damage dealt. Splat. Okay, so that's going to be Tungsten Crescendo. Not quite dead. Ox Steering and Big Drive survive. So alive on a technicality. Still, though, that is going to be basically Firebird out of the game. Let's take a look. Nokek down here has suffered some damage again. Tasty calling, what the fuck? I'm not sure what Tasty... Oh, did they just phase their bombs through or something? Or how is it not dead, they ask? Oh, that's what they're asking, right? Because he's still on the point. He's contesting. You mad lad, you got an Ox Steering and a Raider Drive, and because this other asset here, the Blunt Stop, has CIC, and, like, that's it. No offensive armament. This is technically neutral. Tasty's like, how are you still alive? Spite. Okay, badly damaged back here. The Meowny is getting... What are you shooting this thing with? Hang on, are these? You're shooting slug rounds. Wow, I never thought I would see this. Yeah, 35 mil slug rounds. These can actually do some damage after a time. Granted, this has 20 centimeters of armor to get through, so this will take a while to pierce through, but it's structure broken, so eventually the 4 centimeter slug round pen might be able to break the Bulker. Bulker in turn is out of ammunition for the moment. Where's this thing's mag? Once that mag comes up online, these guns all start getting fed ammo. That's going to be a lot of very sad fighters. Them all just trying to like ping away at this thing now. 20 mil slug normally used for like killing off something like a shuttle or a tug that has basically no armor. 5 centimeters versus the 4 centimeter pen gets it bled down pretty fast. Anyways, HIMARS losing their beam destroyer here as now the comeback is real. They committed to the air battle. They got the air battle. OSP didn't hear no bell. OSP now firing 450 onto the carriers of Tasty, who's going to be having a bad time. Caltrop flight is airborne with more cluster bombs. The flak is alive once again. Bulkers didn't hear none, won't take none. They're going to be shooting off all of their flak rounds now into that array of fighters that was trying to annoy them. Let's see if they're able to retask on target once the bombers start getting up and airborne. See if they go for critical mass or if they just commit with these 2 strikes. All right, we got more cluster bombs. Let's see just how good our Bastion's going to be. There's a bunch of Bastions still trying to bear to target. Will they recognize the incoming threat, or are they prioritized onto killing those fighters? We don't know. C point is capped now. 4 cap for the OSP. What is this game? I'm so glad I chose to do one more today. Hot damn. Grizzly and Caltrop are burning towards target. They have the line up, committed. They are readying their cluster bombs. 2 are out here in the water. There's going to be 2 more following up. Point defense kicks on. Pavisa's already ripping into these things. Going to smack them before they even stage. You see some flak rounds as well, delivering some impact on target. Cluster bombs deflected once more there. Okay, I wondered, and I will say this, I wondered, why did you bring all this point defense? I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Forgive me, please. Totally worth it. 450 Bulkers. Actually kind of fucking cracked. No kick saying, fuck your carrier, deservedly so, as you're seeing 450 starting to fly out this way. Not sure which one. Yeah, there's the other tuner over here getting its hangers knocked out. C is mine. Yeah, it turns out if you don't have any like anti-large bombing stuff left over, like torpedoes or, you know, stuff to get through point defense, these kind of really fucking work. C point is held. Firebird refusing to give up the ghost over here. Tungsten Crescendo still somehow alive. A Raider, an Ox, and a Dream. Structure broken, but not out of it yet. Has a friend over here, the invulnerable Brick here. This thing got blasted by a reactor bloom at some point or other, but it's still alive. Hot damn. D point is open, but Nokek is nearby with a Bloodhound on that. You're seeing Nokek also sitting back here on the E point, trying to hold that down. HIMAR is trying to go for some capper play over here. B point held by Maddie Benui. What a fucking game this is. The carrier's on A? Wait, hang on. Is the carrier on A? Holy shit, yeah, okay. Supreme Overlord decided to move. All right, well, I guess we're going A points. Just putting every piece of tonnage they can onto the points here. Expert on A, it's been fun, but you're getting evicted. We're committing to bumper Bulkers now. This is the state of the game we're in. How do I cast this seriously anymore? I can't. I'm physically dying right now, Chad. Oh, what a fucking game. I think this might be game of the month. Like, seriously, how do you beat something like this? Prepare to be boarded. Can you push it home? Yeah, Benui is completely out of drive, so like, hey, can you push me home? I need to go get my dog out. I have to go wash the dishes too. Oh no. Hi, YouTube, indeed. Yeah. I'm fucking crying right now, Chad. How do you deal with the games like this? C point is vacated currently. Nokek has to worry about their ammunition payload, right? Where are they even on the board? Hang on. They're out of size 1s. Oh, never mind. They're fine. They got 20 mil for days. They still got plenty of flak. Yeah, they're just like slowly chipping away at fighters. Fighters are doing the smart thing, sitting just outside point defense range, trying to deplete this thing. So maybe eventually the bombers get through. If Nokek is smart, they just set their guns to manual and like, yeah, your fighters don't scare me. Just bring in the next bomber load. I think Assassin Flight here. Again, they're trying for another run at it. Caltrop going for the landing here. Utter Tuner is pretty knocked out. Yeah, large pads are dead on both of these. Does this thing have? No, its mag is out as well. Ooh, that's even more payload gone. Okay, Nokek and Sammy with a Dream here. Sammy actually still with fairly intact frontline assets now. I just called a Mass Driver Bulker a frontline asset. That's how cooked I am after this game. Okay, Kitty over here is getting shot by Mass Drivers and not liking it, so that's cool. What else we got? Aura Flight over here with their gun pods. Trying to do something. You're not going to scratch through any of this shit. Good luck, buddy. I guess the all-reaching, all-taking does get smacked at one point by bombs or something, but, what do you do against this? I guess you shoot it. It is, like, damaged. The Grazers are active, though. Like, one of them works, at least. The other one takes some damage. They must be targeting the point defense guns if they're smart. Okay. But if they get an arc of this thing's grazers, they should get shot down, right? Early morning, grazer is idle. Does it not have power or something? It should. Why does your liner have a minute of PD ammo? Yeah, Tasty gotta be wondering, he's like, why the fuck do you still have ammo? And Nokek's like, I don't know, I paid for the budget. You ask, you tell me. It still has 50 mil flak. It's still got, it's low on ammunition there, but it still has that 20 mil as well. Slowly, constantly chipping away here. Just needs to keep itself on point here. I'm surprised the carriers haven't, like, moved away yet. They're just trying to do launching and landing. Okay, D point will get flipped over here as HIMARS on Safari with a wounded Corvette, but still able to get that cap point off. Nokek in turn moving towards the E point side here. Going to be seen off by these lighter capper assets over here. This was a torpedo vet. Don't know if it's used its full payload. No, it still has ammunition, so it can do some work there. Sammy with the rail cello apparently got bloomed at one point. Is going to bloom itself from a fuel line and reactor overload, so that's going to be a thing, and B point will be denied. ANS looking to come back at this with the 3-cap situation on here. OSP still holding on to the A point here. Their PD lasers are coming back up online, and they should be able to shoot down these fighter craft, I think. I'm pretty sure grazers are capable of that. Armor plating must be degraded on this thing, still taking like the occasional shot. They got to be targeting point defense guns. Carries and monitors, waiting flak, actually uses it. Yeah, you know those memes about like, oh no, my fleet doesn't have any budget. How do I pay for this? It's like spend less than 1,500 points on flak. No, I think they've got this. A comeback from the comeback? Maybe. They're out of power currently, which is a bit of an issue, losing their small reactor. They did elect for the double drive setup on this thing, so that is a investment. Going for the Citadel, the storage, and the complex here. Has to use those small reactors here and here. Does this thing have Huntress or what? Bridgemaster. Okay, so not nearly enough power to run everything, though. Now is able to get itself back up online in a second. There you go. Power is up, is out of flak, so that means that the bombers are a bit more of a threat. Still has a lot of 20 mil to see some stuff off. The Bulker C is out of ammo. It's not quite yet. It's out of its flak rounds, so it is now under threat from a bunch of stuff. Tasty saying, oh, now. Get off my cursor. Yeah, get off. Yeah. All right, there we go. 20 mil go Burt. Tasty now realizing, oh, this thing has still got missiles. Or it's still got missile defense. Cluster bombs don't get to stage. Burp. Burp. How much does this thing have left in the bank? It's got 8k worth. Okay, so it needs to not waste its ammo. This is a time where you recognize you're not killing these fighter craft, so you need to set yourself to manual. Be patient with your shots. There we go. Now seeing that done correctly, recognizing, oh shit, I'm going to run out of ammo, and that's a big threat now. ANS does lead this with a 3-cap. It is to 1250 points, so they will win out first. OSP, Sammy, not dead? Interesting. Okay. Scrams is able to actually save that, so fuel line fire, I think, went off, but didn't kill off the ship here. Restoring the drive. No offensive armament on this thing, right? No. So, do you have offensives? You've got a railgun and a magazine. That counts. This can step onto B point. What the shit is this game? Point defense. Terrible. We'll be the judge of that. Anyways, mass drive is continuing to tow against a CL over here. What is this game? This is a weird one, and I love it. Okay. Anyways, Nokek deciding that, hey, let's just nip this problem in the bud, moving 450 Bulker forwards against the double carriers. One of them basically completely knocked out. The Rustin White House over here, untouched. Needs to switch targets over shortly. If they get in range with a 20 mil, they can just turn their guns on to anything that's taking off or landing and kill it. Fencer Flight comes out here with some more coil gun, but there's not really much for them to do. More coil gun hanging around. Assassin Flight here, no bombs. Reactor bloom on the A point. Oh, that might be big. Is that double bloom? Or is that just a weird visual? I think it's just weird visual. Okay. That's kind of big now. 35 mil slugs can actually pen the monitor's armor effectively. They are able to step onto the point here. And we're going to see Small Goodman still offensively capable. Escort carrier is survivable. He wants to kill it off properly here. Nokek needing to recognize the target priority. Oop, that's going to come from an odd angle. Still guns are set to manual. Oh no. Quickly flicks it back on there. Still though, size 1 HE frags set off to defend that. Nokek managing to micro just the one asset and do well with it. Other one is going to find itself onto the D point here, potentially going to flip this. Let's see. 450 is not very effective against small threats like this. This is where you want to have those T20 secondary batteries. But at the same time, what is... Hang on, I have to... In 3 minutes, you're fucking dead. Yeah, where's it? Thumbnail. Oh, that's not going to tell anything about this game, but it does say the state of it. Dear God. I don't know how to cast this, because there's so much weird shit going on in every avenue. Uh-oh, quick. Turn your guns on. Turn your guns on. AMMs. Oh, no. No, they didn't defend it. No! Meow didn't get a structure broken. Oh no, all the damages. No, didn't turn on the guns in time. Or was it just completely out of ammo? No, it had ammunition, just didn't set it from manual. Oh no. Heimer saying God's strongest sprinter will hold. A point is still contested as Sammy moves on to it heroically with their mass driver Volker to contest a CL. Sammy as well starting to move themselves at a limp towards the B point here. Might be able to cap that and take a 3 cap in that. D point might go off here. Okay, if Nokek is able to get HIMARS off this point, then that means they can cap the point here. Instead, HIMARS on the ball as well, microing what assets they have left, which is 2 Corvettes, trying to stay in the rear arc, making so this thing takes forever to turn. Also, in turn, seeing this thing starting to move backwards here, trying to get this thing into arc. What the fuckulous is this game? A point is a cluster foxtrot. Nokek over here trying to hold the point down. Where was it? It was, yeah, here it is. Small Goodman keeping one of their CLs on the point as well, keeping that honest as neither craft is offensively capable, right? No, this thing has missiles. It's just not using them, so there we go. B point cap going to start up in like about 30 seconds or so if this gets on point. Still, ANS very far ahead on this stage. It is 12:50 to win. I'm so glad that we made it that way. More cluster bombs going off here. No point defense, unfortunately. There we go. There's the stage. This is going to be a dead ship shortly. Smack! There you go. Structure broken and kablooied. Finally, the world's strongest bulker does actually go down. Tasty Cookie starting to set their ship on flank speed, heading towards that C point. I think that will be game. A little bit of missed micro there at the very end by Nokek, not setting it from manual, recognizing the bombs incoming, have to be paying attention to that. Unfortunately, that's going to decide it. So, though, what a game. Like, okay, how do you look at this? It's like, oh yeah, ANS brings like 6k levy, and like at the end of the first quarter, all of OSP's planes are dead. And then we get to this. Like, you know that one Minecraft achievement, how did we get here? That's this game. Just, how did we get here? What happened? What led to this situation? How did you get reactor bloomed? How are you capping a point now against a Axford? What the heck happened? Heimer is continuing to try and play evasive here. Looks like, oh no, this thing is going to maybe be getting knocked out here. Needs to get one more follow-up shot into it. 450 just like looking at him like, all right, I'm going to kill you now. Trying to get him out. Decap is underway as this thing's not currently operational. ACAP is still kept neutral. Decap goes through. B point should go through in a second, right? How are you still offensively capable? What is... How are you offensively capable? I don't get it. Actually, what? Defenders, parallax defenders, ammo elevators, guns. You are... Okay. Railgun, magazine, basic CIC. How are you not capping? Like, no, actually, hang on a sec, chat. How is this not capping? There's no offensive power here. Heimer saying my torpedo disappeared. What? I think that might be a bug that happens sometimes where a torpedo gets, like it tries to fire off and then it, like, gets eaten or something. Weird. Or, Where's Heimar's, actually, other one? Oh, there's the torp. Okay, so that one's going out there. Yeah, it didn't, huh. Anyways, they're gonna secure the E point over here. Yeah, this has been a game and a half. All right, let's watch this last torp hit into the aft sections. Plonk, there you go. Drive and reactor still managed to soak it. Okay, I think this might actually be a bug or something. Or they don't have power. That's why. They don't have power to have their weapons operate. So they're not operating because they don't have any boost reactor because there's not enough juice to run the railgun. I think. Hang on. Let me... I'm just going to ask something here. Let's find out if that's the case. Who is this? This is, Semi, can you turn off your Acello's radar for a sec? I'm going to test something. See if this is it or not. So A point is going to flip there finally. I'm wondering now if this is the case, if it just doesn't have power. Because, like, maybe the drive here doesn't have enough juice to feed this thing. These are expensive on that. See if that works or not. Radars are off. No, okay, so that's not it. Yeah. All right. Okay, yeah. Railgun, not enough juice. There you go, then. We're just commenting this because the game has unfortunately been decided. Now the show must eventually end, sadly. So yeah, that is these two ships just unable to hurt each other besides slinging. Okay, you know that like the Axford, all the crew has gone up to the observation deck and they're just hurling insults, and the Ocello over here is hurling insults right back. Like all the rude gestures, they got a fucking notepad that they're scribbling on, slapping notes on against it. Just like, hey, fuck you, buddy. Your ship looks like a burnt fucking chicken nugget. The circus must come to a close eventually. Yeah. Oh man, what a fucking game. I did not expect this loading up on Nix's Eye. We had some great Nix's Eye gameplay earlier, but this, I think, just takes it. How are we going to top this, like, ever? Such a weird match. 6k Levy versus, like, 4k of OSP Carrier. The complete, like, clown fiesta of just gunfights all around. Mad Badui saying, I had no clue what to do this entire game. You and everyone else. Like... You get into a situation, you're like, yeah, I'm just going to play, you know, conventional Axfords. I kind of know what I'm doing. I'll just get like some 250. This is 250 on top. I did not realize that. I like this build. I like this build a lot. Does the other one? No, it's got 450. I just got false positives on that. All right. Respect the 250 gun tech. Yeah, that's cool. Nice way to shoot down light planes and stuff. All right. Just, yeah. Anyways, ANS finally does take it after a nail biter of a game. What do you even say about this one? Like, I don't know how to fairly evaluate this game because so much stuff happened. ANS brought 6,000 points of Levy, won the air battle doing that. OSP tried to face them off with like 4k worth of stuff in turn. CH took 2 reactors to kill. Yeah, just, dear God. Okay. Export battle report. That's going to be one for the record keeper. Mad Badui was just punching bagged all game, unfortunately. Pyre Reckoning coming out with a couple bombers, able to get some boosted bombs. Ah, yes, there you go. Only 110 hits with those things. So many moments of that. Small Goodman alive to the end of the game. 35k and almost 17k on these CLs. Bombers here. Claymore's coming out. 20k damage dealt. Tanto's doing a bit of work on these things. Firebird, unfortunately, not able to find their targets. Yeah, just Firebird and, who was it? It was Banui here. Both of them just wanted to have, like, a honest capital on capital. Like, we both bring 1,500 point ships. We're cruisers. All right, let's have a fist fight. And then the entire match happened around them as they just kind of look at each other like, I'm scared. Hold me. 35k on a Vauxhall. Yeah. HIMARS with the Jonkler, the beam destroyer that could, shooting down 8 planes. How do we... I have to, like, go back and do a highlight clip of just this game, like, a super compilation of everything that happened, because, like, the beam destroyer, not battleship, destroyer, shooting down everything. Tasty with that fucking liner. Yeah, that fucking liner. Let's take a look. Now, kick over here, the Meowny just... Like, how much does this thing have point defense budget? Yeah, okay, 40k worth of point defense shot here. If it had set itself to manual earlier and held onto its bastion and not, like, exhausted its ammo, it would still be good. Set themselves to manual, unfortunately, at one point, and then forgot to flick back on and shoot down the incoming bombs. That's the only thing that killed it. Area defense, terrible. I'll be the judge of that, thank you. Destroyed, yeah. I think it got pretty good destruction. You had to drain every ammo. Yeah, literally, you had to drain all the flak ammo, and then they realized, oh, right, manual fire mode is an actual thing, so they flicked that over. Then, even then, the Pavis were still able to just, like, defend against a lot of the incoming bombs until they forgot to set it back up. Now, okay, with another one over here, the Naya? This thing able to pull almost 15k, this thing pulling 21k. How much of the damage just in flak? Like, does it even say? I don't see total point defense damage anywhere, damn it. Well, we can subtract it from, like, here. Yeah, that's a good chunk of point defense damage dealt with this thing. See, spotters there. Sammy with God's strongest monitor getting hit by, like, 8 cluster bombs and saying, I don't hear no bell. Was that the fucking rain? Yeah, just gets smacked there. Did absolutely nothing. What a match. Grazers did not fire against the... I don't actually know why the Grazers weren't shooting at the fighter craft. I guess they, like, didn't target it or something? That's kind of weird, because, like, they should be. Maybe it was only set to point. That's got to be it. They were only set to point, so they didn't, like, fire off against bombers just hanging out nearby, because they didn't perceive them as threats. If you set it to area, it does that, but yeah. Starbuck, what are you hearing? Nothing but the rain, sir! They were set to point. Okay, yeah, that's why your Grazers weren't firing off at that. So you got to set yourself to area, then they will shoot at the nearby, like, fighter craft swarming you, so you can get some zap into them. Still, this thing took forever to go down. Master Driver Liner, 37k. Rail Liner doesn't... Rail Ocello doesn't do the most damage here, but still, it's doing fire damage on enemies, so it doesn't show up. 7.5 on that still. Just all the damage there. Supreme Overlord, unfortunately, yeah, OSP just got swarmed in the skies. Total Tanto count, let's take a look. how do we tally these? Okay, that's going to be like 42 of these, plus then that'll be, we'll group this for, that'll be 18. So 18 plus 42, that comes out to be 68, I want to say, in total. So 68 planes across this one, and then these other ones here, another 36. So again, just OSP outnumbered in the skies, hard to fight against that, need some other tools like, you know, flak bulkers, or to have some SDMs from other craft, other ways to intercept and contest the skies there. ANS coming in with the, like, we're going to run 6k worth of levy build and just completely wiping the skies out in the first quarter of the game or so. Oh, man, what a fucking match. Okay, you know what, chat? Just, yeah, Ceremonial Arming Tanto. I saw that name at the start of the game, and it's still, it's so funny. Ceremonial Arming Tanto, or as you may know it, the cat. Anyways, was this YouTube? You better fucking believe this one's going on YouTube. I wasn't sure which matches to cut up, but I need to cut up some games from the other day. Oh, man. I don't have another one in me. There is no way we are topping a test game like this. I'm going to cut this one up, post it on YouTube, and be like, yeah, okay, list, I don't know, figure out balance of this. I got no idea. So much shit happened in this game. Where was it? It was the Spearfish flight. Whose Spearfish was it? I think it was Supreme Overlord. Yeah, like the Sturgeons with rockets. Just, do we see Hymar's beam destroyer with its craft defense stat? I don't know if we do. Where is it? Not the Best Girl. It was the Jonkler. Yeah, Jonkler with the beam was able to engage. It doesn't show me the fighter craft there, but yeah, eight bombers running at the beam destroyer. Beam destroyer is like, oh, so you say, womp, womp, womp.